All right, so the recording has started, so let's dive into today's lecture. Okay, so in the last class, I hope you remember that we discussed the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning, and then we also went on to discuss, there are two different kinds of problems that we have in supervised learning. One is called the classification problem, and the other one is called the regression problem, right? Okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to now look into classification problem, okay? And so in the next few classes, we will discuss different classifiers that can be used to, classify, okay? So we'll see that. So today I'm going to show you some very basic classifiers, so basic that, sometimes these classifiers are not good enough to use in a real data set. But just to begin with the idea of classification, I think it's a good point to start with these classifiers. So let's get started. So first couple of things here. Now, please carry a calculator with you, preferably a scientific calculator, because sometimes we will do some calculations. Okay, so that's something that would be useful. So I would suggest you to have a calculator in your, like close by, okay, so that whenever we need to do some computation, you can start doing them. Now, remember, you need to do some group. So you need to do a project work, right? Okay. So in order for that, so you can form a group of maximum 4 members in that group. So I'm going to suggest you by the next class you should form a group. Okay, I am not going to form a group for you guys. So you should form a group. So by the next class, please let me know the group members. Okay, for each group, I need to know who are the group members. So that needs to be done by the next class. Is that okay, Nakena? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that needs to be sorted. So please do sort that out. Okay. Now, okay, so if you look at the world of data science, okay, now, machine learning studies data. So, it's a technique that can be used. Machine learning is an approach that can be used to understand data, okay? Right, so it's a branch of data science, you can say that, okay? Now, data science can be used, so from the data, we can use to do different things. For example, we can use the data to explain the past behavior. So if you have the data of the past, so you can use the data of the past to actually explain why something has happened. Usually, many statistical concepts can be used to actually explain the past, okay? But what we are mostly interested in is we are interested in how to predict the future. So in order to predict the future, so we take the data and we model the data. So hopefully we will see today how to create a model from the data, right? Okay, we're gonna model from the data, and the whole purpose of modeling from the data is so that if we have, future data, so we can use the future data to actually make a prediction. So what would happen if you have this sort of data? What would actually be the consequence? Okay, so that you can actually predict the future. So that's something what we're going to do. And in order to do that, so whenever in machine learning we create a model, depending on the kind of problem that we have, or depending on the data set we have, it's either a classification problem or a regression problem. Sometimes we do unsupervised learning. We apply unsupervised learning as well. Like we can apply things like clustering, okay? And then there is another technique called association rules. We'll talk about that as well sometimes later, okay? So basically, depending on the data that you have, you can either do some classification or regression or clustering. So classification and regression, these two are supervised learning. Clustering is a technique that you use in case of an unsupervised learning. And what is the association rule? This is something we're going to look at it later on, okay? Don't worry about it right now, okay? Now then, it turns out that there are many classification algorithms. For example, there is an algorithm called ZeroR classifier. So that's a ZeroR classifier. So it uses some algorithm to actually classify, okay? We have got OneR classifier, naive-based classifier, decision tree. We have got many different kinds of classifiers. K-nearest classifier. You can use the artificial neural networks and support vector machine to classify as well. So you see, these are different classifiers, meaning These are different algorithms that you have which you can use to classify. Each of these classifiers or each of these algorithms have their own advantages as well as disadvantages, which we are going to learn. Okay. Now, if you're using regression, if the problem is a regression, so you can use different regression techniques as well. Like, for example, you can use decision tree to all these sort of things that you can use to get there. Okay, right. Now you can see some places, Gemon, let's see, support vector machine. I can use it as a regressor, as well as the support vector machine can be used as a classifier. So sometimes you'll see that you'll have an algorithm that can be used for both classification and regression. We'll talk about those things as well, like decision tree as well. Okay, decision tree mainly is a classifier, but it can be actually extended to make a regressor as well. Okay, and we'll talk about those things as well. Is that okay so far, Nakina?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And clustering, this is like, this uses unsupervised learning. So it uses unsupervised learning, and there are different clustering algorithms and stuff like that. We will discuss this one later on. How do we actually do unsupervised learning? How do we do clustering using unsupervised learning and things like that? Okay. Then there are two kinds of clustering. It's something called hierarchical clustering and partition clustering. We'll discuss these things in due time, so don't worry about that. Okay. All right. Okay, so far so good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna now look into classifiers. Okay, so now we would like to concentrate on classifiers. We would like to see how do you build a classifier and things like that. Okay, so first thing first. So these are things that you know already. Okay, so whatever I have written in this slide, in slide 5, you know these things. So that's why I say recall. Okay, I hope you understand that classifier. So it's a classification problem. If it is a classification problem, it belongs to supervised learning problem, right, Nakina? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, in a supervised learning problem, we have two things. First one is X, and then we have got Y. What is X and what is Y? Can anyone tell me?
The input X.
X is the features, right? Features that you have.
Yes.
And what is Y?
Label, sir.
Target variable.
Target variable or label. You can have different name for that. So you can say target or you can say label. Is that right, Nakina? Clear? Yeah? Okay. Now, for example, let's discuss. Let's imagine I want to actually, let's imagine I want to actually predict whether a particular email is a spam email or not a spam email. Okay, right. Any idea what could be the different features? So imagine I have a problem here, and the problem is I want to classify if a particular email is a spam email or not a spam email. So the problem is this, that I want to create some sort of tool that will take my email as an input, right? And it's going to predict if it's a spam email or is it a regular email. Or I would just say not spam. Clear? Okay. So what would be my X and Y? So let's talk about the Y. What would be my Y? What would be my Y? Y is it's either a spam or not spam. Correct, Nakina? Clear? That's the label. Am I correct, yes, Nakina? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, what could be the X? What are the different features that you can look into an email?
X হতে পারে স্যার সোর্স কোন সোর্স থেকে
তার মানে sender's email address, right, Nakina? Clear?
Yes, sir.
So I could look at the sender's. Wait. Hold on a moment. Hold on a bit. Okay, I'm just a human being. Okay, sender's email address. What else can you see? Subject, right? So subject is something that you can also see. Okay, what else can you see?
So body te kono URL contain korteche kina?
Body te kono URL contain korche kina? বডিতে এরকম পার্টিকুলার কিওয়ার্ড আছে কিনা যেগুলো আর কি it has to do with money and things like that. So some analysis of the body, ঠিক আছে, so body থেকেও I can actually find out some features. That means I can say features derived from the body. Am I correct? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I can use all these things to actually do some sort of analysis. So that's X and this is Y. Clear? Okay, good. Now as you can see that feature আমার feature কি একটা হয় না multiple features থাকে? Multiple features. আর আমার target is either spam or not spam. একটাই, মানে it's either spam or it's not spam. I cannot have multiple targets. Correct নাকি না? Clear? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Right. যেহেতু features contains typically it contains more than one features, so that's why point to note, আমরা যখন mathematically denote করি, we usually put X as capital letter. You perhaps have noticed that in the previous slides as well, ঠিক আছে, but I probably did not say that at the time. X is capital X, okay, and Y is a small y, ঠিক আছে, or lowercase y. Clear নাকি না? Is that okay? But this notation has come from linear algebra, really. Okay, why? Because in a linear algebra, whenever you write a matrix is the label that is used to denote a matrix, সেটা uppercase letter থাকে, আর তোমার যদি কোনো একটা particular vector থাকে, 1D vector, so it's usually denoted by lowercase. So one dimensional vector হলে তার মানে প্রত্যেকটা ইনস্ট্যান্সের জন্য জাস্ট একটা আউটপুট, দিস ইজ লাইক ওয়ান লেবেল, ঠিক আছে, বাট ইউ ক্যান হ্যাভ মাল্টিপল ফিচার্স। সো ফর এক্সাম্পল ইমেল নাম্বার 1 এর জন্য প্রথম সেন্টার্স ইমেল অ্যাড্রেস কিছু একটা, তারপর হচ্ছে বডিতে কিছু একটা, আই কুড হ্যাভ মাল্টিপল ফিচার্স রিটেন ওভার হিয়ার, বাট দেন ফর ওয়াই ইটস আইদার স্প্যাম অর নট স্প্যাম, রাইট নাকি না? ক্লিয়ার? ওকে, so that because features are multiple, there could be multiple features, so that's why we usually denote it by uppercase letter. Okay, that's just a mathematical notation. Is that okay nakina? Clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is just a mathematical notation. So X here is a data comprising of instances with different attributes like x1 x2 up to xn. So up to xn means there are n featured attributes, so there are altogether n features in that particular data set. Am I clear nakina? And we have got a y, which is a label, really. Okay, for a classification problem, this y that we have, is it discrete or is it continuous?
Discrete.
It is discrete values, right? So if the value of y is discrete or categorical value, then the problem that we have is called a classification problem. And in order to solve a classification problem, we require a classifier that is going to do that is going to solve the classification problem. Is that okay, Nakina? Is that making sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's something that we already know from the previous class. Okay. Now, this is something that's also I would like you to recall a little bit, that in machine learning we can have different kinds of learning problem. Like we could use unsupervised learning, supervised learning, or we could have also something called reinforcement learning. Okay, supervised learning solves two kinds of problem. One is called the classification problem, the other one is called regression problem. Classification problem can be used to predict different classes. For example, it can detect a fraud. For example, imagine someone is doing a transaction. Okay, someone is actually doing some sort of electronic transaction. Is this electronic transaction a fraud transaction or not? ঠিক আছে, detecting that is a classification problem. ঠিক আছে, diagnostics. If your classifier is diagnosing that someone has a cancer, sadly, or something like that. Okay, that's a classification problem. Is the tumor a malignant tumor or is it a benign tumor? ঠিক আছে, that's a classification problem. Regression problem, we could do some forecasting. We could forecast the sea level rise. ঠিক আছে, okay, we could do some prediction. What would be the let's say revenue of a particular company next June, something like that. Okay, we can get some new insights using regression as well. So there's different kinds of places where we can apply these things. Unsupervised learning, where we do not have a label, so it's an unlabeled data set, we can use it to do different kinds of things. For example, it can be used to do recommended systems. So we can find out, we can make and recommend the systems like that of Netflix or things like that. I hope we're going to discuss a little bit later on how to develop a recommended system. Okay, we can do something called a targeted marketing, right? So you have got a lot of customers, okay, and then you do some sort of clustering to understand, okay, different kinds of customers, so that you have a better understanding what different kinds of customers you have, right? Even if you have lots of customers, their behaviors are not all the same. So if you can actually cluster them and you find out, okay, this group of customers want these sort of things, that group of customers want that sort of things. So if you want to sell a particular product, and now you know, okay, this sort of customer, this product will suit for this particular customer. So you can actually do some target marketing. So you do not have to broadcast and send an SMS to all of them. Okay, rather you actually target those particular customers who are more suited for that particular product. So those sort of business intelligence decisions and things like that can be very well done, which is also known as customer segmentation, right? So you cluster all these customers depending on how they have behaved, right? Okay, so we can do lots of very, very interesting stuff. Then we also have something called reinforcement learning, but in this course we may not touch reinforcement learning. If I have time, I'll probably give us an introductory lecture on what reinforcement learning is and what we can do with that later on. Okay, so these are, I mean, I can apply machine learning in basically I can use machine learning in almost anywhere where we have some data. Okay, so we can do some sort of very interesting stuff there. Okay, now in any case, now what we're going to do is we are going to focus on classifiers now. That's what we are discussing today. So remember, we said for classifiers, the label y that we have must be of discrete value. Okay, it is a categorical value or a discrete value. Okay, so let's try to understand what is that. So a categorical or discrete variable is one that takes two or more categories or values. Okay, so if you have, like, for example, spam, not spam, so we have two kinds of classes, two kinds of categories, right? So that's discrete, right? Okay, so that's an example of categorical values. Okay, now categorical values can be divided into two, or you can see there are two kinds of categorical variables. One is called nominal categorical variable. The other one is called ordinal categorical variable. Now, what's the difference? In a nominal categorical variable, for example, gender. For example, you've got something called the gender. Now, gender. So imagine an example. Let's say you take a camera in front of your face, okay, and the output is it detects what gender it is. Is it a male or a female? Correct? Okay. So let's say you want to predict gender. So gender is a categorical variable that you would like to predict. Now, the gender that you have can be either a male or a female in this example. Is that okay, Nakina? So far, so good? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, these male and female, they do not have any intrinsic ordering. এরকম কোনো ordering নাই যে male is greater than female or male is smaller than female, right? If you do not have any kind of intrinsic ordering, okay, between the categories, then that is called a nominal categorical variable. Okay, right? So male, nobody can say like, okay, male is greater than female or male is smaller than female. Nothing like that can be said over here. That's why this sort of categorical variable is said to be a nominal categorical variable. Okay, let me give another example where in case of categorical variables, values that we have, we can have some ordering. Okay, now those would be called ordinal categorical variable. Okay, ordinal, the word comes from order. So in case of ordinal data, it has some clear ordering. For example, You're predicting temperature, or imagine you have got a variable called temperature. The temperature is a categorical variable in this example if you do not measure the actual value of the temperature. So if you find the actual value of the temperature like 25 degrees Celsius or 26 degrees Celsius, now that's not discrete, right? That's continuous, okay? But let's say you categorize the temperature variable as either low temperature, medium temperature, or high temperature. So if you categorize this way, is it discrete or is it continuous now?
Discrete.
It's discrete. It's either low, medium, or high. But see, there is a clear ordering between these three categories that we have over here, right? These three groups that we have: low, medium, high. So I can say medium is higher temperature than low, but a smaller temperature than high, right? So we have some sort of ordering over there. Can I say that, Nakina? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
So if we have such sort of ordering available in a discrete variable, that is an example of an ordinal categorical variable. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. These are some basic stuffs. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is let's discuss one particular classifier. আমরা এখন একটা particular classifier discuss করব, and we're going to look at how we can use this classifier to actually classify a data set. Is that okay, Nakina? Okay. The classifier I'm going to use, it's not a very good classifier. I think like when you see how this classifier works, you might be a bit disappointed. But I think it's a good classifier to start with. Okay. But as this course will progress, you will learn more and more interesting classifiers. Okay, right? So let's get a very basic classifier. It's called a ZeroR classifier. Okay. So we have a classifier. We're going to talk about it right now. It's called a ZeroR classifier, and ZeroR stands for zero rule classifier. So ZeroR classifier means zero rule classifier. Okay. Acha. It is probably the simplest classification method that I'm going to discuss. Etar theke simplest classifier hoy na. Acha. Why did I say that you'll probably a bit disappointed to see how this classifier works? Is because actually a classifier কোনো predictive power নাই. It does not have any predictive power. So this is something you'll see that this does not have any predictive power at all. Okay, but it is a very useful classifier as a it's a very useful baseline classifier. So you can use it as a baseline classifier. তুমি নিজে একটা classifier তৈরি করলা, হ্যাঁ, you want to compare how this classifier is working, is performing, okay, compared to other existing classifiers. Okay, so you need some sort of benchmark, or you need some sort of cutoff. At least এতটুকু তো হওয়া উচিত. So that baseline classifier, you can treat this as a baseline classifier. Is that okay, Nakina? Clear? So far so good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the job of this classifier? How does this predict it? Now, okay, so what it does is this one. Look at this one. This is where I explain how does this classifier is going to predict. So this is the simplest classification method that relies on the target and ignores all predictors. Okay, so what it does is something like this. Okay, I'll give an example. I hope if I give an example, things will be a bit clear. So imagine we have I will give an example in a bit. Well, let's say here. So imagine we have got a data set, and these are some features. So features x1, x2, and let's say there are three features x3, and this is the target y. Okay, here's a label. X1 is something, doesn't matter. X2 is something, x3 is something. Y is, let's say, true. Okay, for the second instance, I'm ignoring what feature does it have, doesn't matter. I'm just writing the label. This is true. Okay, this is false. This is true. That's false. This is true. This is true. Okay, is that clear, Nakina? So let's imagine we have a data set like that. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, in this data set, how many features
Yes,
do
sir.
we have? How many features do we have in this data set?
3.
3.
Three. Okay, and how many instances do we have?
3 instance.
No. These are
Oh,
instances. Instance means কতগুলো samples. 1, 2,
আচ্ছা
3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there are altogether 7 instances. Clear নাকি না? Is that okay?
yes, sir.
And
Yes,
there
sir.
are 3 features, right নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. এখন what this classifier does is interesting. It completely ignores the predictors. So which are the predictors? These are the predictors. The features are also called the predictors. 3 features or predictors. Why do we call them the predictors? Because it is the features that are usually used to make the prediction. Clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So it is going to completely ignore the predictors and it's going to look at the target value. So the target value is this. Okay. Now বলেন তো এই টার্গেট ভ্যালুতে কতগুলো ট্রু আছে আর কতগুলো ফলস আছে?
So
So
5টা
পাঁচটা
true, 2টা false.
5টা ট্রু and 2টা ফলস. So who is the winner? Is true the winner or false the winner?
True.
True is the winner. So what this ZeroR classifier going to do? So this is the real value of y. So this is the actual y value. Clear নাকি না? This is the actual y value. But if you use the ZeroR classifier to predict, so I'll write the y value that the ZeroR classifier would predict. Clear নাকি না? Okay. এটা হচ্ছে actual value of y আর এটা হচ্ছে the value of y that the ZeroR. So let's not call it y. Sometimes in machine learning we give a y hat. So y hat means what is the difference between y hat and y?
Oh,
So
sir,
actual
actually.
একটা
So, y
predicted.
হচ্ছে true value or
Y is the actual or true value, right? নাকি না? Clear?
So
Actual
এটাকে কি
or
ground truth বলা হয় না?
true value. Well, you can use different terms. You can use that as well. Actual or true value. Clear? Our y hat means what? Y hat
predicted value.
is the predicted value, okay, by that particular classifier that we are using. Clear নাকি না? Yes? Is that okay? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what the ZeroR classifier going to do is it's going to see, acha, এই যে আমার target আছে true and false, who is the winner? The winner is true in this case. So it's going to predict for whatever input that you give. It's going to give the majority class সবসময় predict করবে. So for everything, it's going to predict it as true. ঠিক আছে? Is that okay নাকি না? Yeah. So that's what it's going to do. Now, of course, you might say this is nonsense. It doesn't actually look into the features. It doesn't analyze the features. It doesn't do anything. It just simply looks at who is the winner and just going to declare for whatever input that you give, it's going to predict this as the winning class. Clear? Is that okay?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right.
So, এটা
So
50-50 হলে কি করবে?
it just chooses one of them as random. So that's not a problem. Okay. Acha.
Okay.
Now, amazingly, you might say this is a rubbish, classifier, because it doesn't do anything interesting at all. Okay, it doesn't even look into the data set. Okay, but if you look at over here, can you tell me how much accurate would it be? Now, if I actually use this data set to test as well, how much would be the accuracy of this classifier in the area? Now, look at this
50%.
one. Look at this one. There are 7 samples here, right? দেখেন না 7টার মধ্যে 2টো false আর বাকিগুলো true. Now, এখন যে prediction করছে, when it's making the prediction, how many incorrect predictions has it made? This is one incorrect prediction and this is one incorrect prediction, right? It makes 2 incorrect predictions. That means it makes 5 correct predictions out of the 7 predictions that we have, right? দেখেন না
Yes, sir.
And that, if you
71%.
look at, right, this is interesting. Although we are saying it's a rubbish classifier, but it's able to make a 71% accuracy. ঠিক আছে? Is it clear নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Right.
Yes.
Okay, so now I'll give an example. So that's basically what the ZeroR classifier is doing. Is that okay নাকি না? Okay.
Sir, if
All right.
both the trues and false are all the same, like if we have 3 trues, 3 falses, or 4 trues, 4
I
falses,
just answered that question a little
oh,
while
it,
back.
oh, it chooses randomly.
It just chooses one of them randomly. ঠিক আছে? Okay. আচ্ছা. But interestingly, if it's a binary classification মানে কি?
স্যার হয় 0 না 1 মানে
Right,
ট্রু না
মানে
zero না
true বা false বা 0 বা 1 বা spam or not spam, so এরকম যদি থাকে binary classification, any idea what is the minimum accuracy ZeroR classifier will give?
50%.
50%, right? Yeah, 50% is the minimum accuracy it will give. So although you can say it's a rubbish classifier, but it actually ensures that at least 50% accuracy দিবে। কিন্তু binary classifier না হয়ে যদি তিনটা ক্লাস থাকে তাহলে what is the minimum accuracy that a ZeroR classifier would have? 33.33%. Is that clear নাকি না? 1/3 হয়ে যাবে যদি সবকটা ইকুয়াল হয়। Is that okay নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
Clear সবার কাছে? আচ্ছা, good. আচ্ছা, এখন let's imagine, think about it. This is very important to think. Okay? Let's imagine someone comes, uses the ZeroR classifier and found it 90% accurate. Okay? Right? So imagine somebody used the ZeroR classifier in their data set and found 90% accuracy. Right? Okay. What does that tell you about the data set that we have? 90% accuracy.
Sir,
ডেটা সেটের
actual
90% ডেটা হচ্ছে ট্রু আর একটা ডেটা হচ্ছে
90%
false।
accuracy মানে হচ্ছে তার মানে 9 out of 10 হচ্ছে একটা ক্যাটাগরি আর 1 out of 10 হচ্ছে আরেকটা ক্যাটাগরি। So is it a balanced data set or is it an imbalanced data set?
হাইলি আনব্যালেন্স।
Highly imbalanced data set, highly unbalanced data set or highly imbalanced data set. Am I clear নাকি না? Is that okay? So if you get a very high accuracy with the ZeroR classifier, you know your data set is not a very well balanced data set. That's something that it tells you. Is that clear নাকি না?
তার মানে স্যার ডেটা সেট ব্যালেন্স কিনা এটা টেস্ট করা যায় স্যার জিরো আর
না মানে you can definitely test it, but মানে ZeroR classifier উদ্দেশ্য টেস্ট করা না, but of course its accuracy can be used to interpret that. Yeah, clear নাকি না? Is that okay?
স্যার
Yes,
আমরা
sir.
এটা হাই আনব্যালেন্স বলতেছি ইটস বিকজ যে 90% অ্যাকুরেট হচ্ছে এটার জন্য।
No. আপনি হাই আনব্যালেন্স কেন বলছেন? Understand that.
আমাদের ডাটা সেটে প্রবলেম আছে।
Yeah. So if you have 90% accuracy, imagine 90% accuracy with a ZeroR classifier, right? তার মানে 9 out of 10, because ZeroR classifier কি করে, যেটা মেজর ক্লাস থাকে, right, সেটাকেই সবসময় প্রেডিক্ট করে। তার মানে in 90% cases it's predicting it correctly. That means 9 out of 10 actually আমরা যদি 10টা ইনস্ট্যান্স দেখো, ঠিক আছে, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, 10টা ইনস্ট্যান্স থাকলে you will have 9 out of 10 which belongs to one category and only 1 out of 10 that belongs to another category. Am I clear নাকি না? Is that okay?
Yes sir.
এরকম সিচুয়েশনে তো 90% accuracy হবে ZeroR classifier, ঠিক আছে? But what does this tell you about my data set therefore? My data set is unbalanced data set. Clear নাকি না? Okay? Unbalanced মানে কি? Try to understand. Unbalanced data set means that এই data set-এ যতগুলা ক্যাটাগরিজ আছে to predict, ঠিক আছে, তার মধ্যে ধরো দুটো ক্যাটাগরি আছে, তার মধ্যে একটা ক্যাটাগরি ইনস্ট্যান্সেস বেশি আছে আরেকটা ক্যাটাগরি ইনস্ট্যান্সেস অনেক কম আছে, ঠিক আছে? এরকম যদি কোনো ডেটা সেট থাকে, your ZeroR classifier is going to actually come up with a very high accuracy. Is that clear নাকি না? Yes
sir.
ঠিক আছে? But এখন now the question is unbalanced data set something desirable or undesirable? What do you think? Unbalanced data set কি ভালো নাকি খারাপ?
আনডিজায়ারেবল মানে এটা তো কোনো
It is undesirable. This is
Sir,
something
what
that we do
ওভারফিটেড
not
হয়ে যাবে স্যার।
Sir,
do
what-
not want it. Yes.
স্যার হোয়াট ইফ আমার সব ইনস্ট্যান্সেস গুলো আমি সাপোজ একটা জিনিসের জন্য আমার ডাটা সেট লাগবে আর আমার ওই জায়গার যত ইনস্ট্যান্সেস আছে লাইক সাপোজ আমার বাইরে বৃষ্টি হোক বা বাইরে সানি হোক এনিওয়্যার সব ইনস্ট্যান্সের জন্য আমার ট্রু দেখাচ্ছে, মানে ইটস আ ভেরি গুড ডাটা সেট। ইন দ্যাট কেস তো এটা স্যার অনেক মানে একটা ব্যালেন্স ইনফরমেশন না?
যদি তাই থাকে, মানে তোমার ডেটা যদি এমনই হয় যে একটা ক্যাটাগরিতেই সবসময় ট্রু হচ্ছে, ঠিক আছে, তাহলে কি তুমি চিন্তা করে দেখো তো মেশিন লার্নিং দরকার আছে? ইউ ডোন্ট হ্যাভ টু ক্লাসিফাই, ইটস আ টটোলজি, ইটস অলওয়েজ গোইং টু বি কারেক্ট, তাই না নাকি না? যেটা অলওয়েজ কারেক্ট, ইউ নো ইট, ইউ ডোন্ট নিড এনি প্রেডিকশন ফর দ্যাট, ঠিক আছে? ইজ দ্যাট ওকে নাকি না? ক্লিয়ার? ওকে। না আনব্যালেন্সড ডেটা সেট, এটা আমি আগে থেকে আপনাদেরকে বলছি এই কারণে, বিকজ দিস আর দ্য ইস্যুস দ্যাট ইউ উইল হ্যাভ। Sometimes when you will have your own data set, you will actually find that there are issues with the data set. the data set might be not very balanced data set. ঠিক আছে, যদি balanced data set না হয় তাহলে কি হবে? Now you see, তোমার একটা ক্যাটাগরির ক্ষেত্রে তোমার যদি সংখ্যা ইনস্ট্যান্সের সংখ্যা কম থাকে, the machine the learner that you'll have will not learn much about this one. Clear na kina? Is that okay? In order to be fair, you need to be as balanced as possible. Am I clear na kina? Is that okay?
Yes.
ঠিক আছে, but sometimes you will encounter these issues. I mean, sometimes you will encounter these issues যেখানে তোমার balance data set তোমার কাছে available নাই, ঠিক আছে? Then we use different kinds of techniques, ঠিক আছে, other kinds of techniques to handle these sort of issues that we have, ঠিক আছে? Example দিই, কোথায় না থাকতে পারে, ধরো for example you want to detect a disease. Now, whether somebody has the disease or not, so you need to have samples or instances from diseased the patients who have the disease, and those patients who do not have the disease, right? And if you have equal samples, if not equal, at least kachakachi, ঠিক আছে, now it's a very good, well-balanced data set. What if you are trying to predict a particular, disease? যেটা it's a very rare disease. তুমি যতই balance বলো, you will never get a balanced data set. Am I clear na kina? Because that disease is a very rare disease. Sometimes you will actually face this sort of issues, that your data set that you do have is not a very balanced data set. Okay, এখন তুমি একটা কাজ করতে পারো, you can say, okay, we don't have a very balanced data set, ঠিক আছে, no problem, তাহলে যেটা মেজরিটি ক্লাস তার অনেকগুলোকে আমরা randomly বাদ দিয়ে দিই, so that we can make it as close balance or not. You can do that, but এটা করতে গেলে আরেকটা ইস্যু হবে, সেটা হচ্ছে তোমার ডেটা সেটের সাইজ হয়ে যাবে অনেক ছোট, রাইট? ডেটা সেটের সাইজ যদি ছোট হয়ে যায়, that's also not very good. But machine learning, you'll try to have as much data you have, right, so that your learner learns better, right? Not clear? In that case, how do you tackle these issues? There are certain techniques that we have. We are not going to discuss today, right? But sometimes later we're going to discuss when we actually encounter these issues, what we do. There's something called data augmentation techniques and things like that, which we can use to handle these sort of problems that we encounter sometimes. Is that okay? But right now, did you understand what's a ZeroR classifier and what does it do? Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Does anybody have any question before I go into the next slide?
Sir, এই imbalance data set এর জন্য তো overfitting প্রবলেমটা arise করে, তাই না
Sir, don't complicate this one right now, ঠিক আছে? Overfitting is another problem আমরা পরে discuss করব. Don't worry about that one now, ঠিক আছে? Okay, right? But I'm happy that you know about things like overfitting and underfitting. But yes, overfitting can happen due to many reasons, and one of the reasons is this unbalanced data set. You're right, ঠিক আছে? That's just to satisfy your the questions that you have, ঠিক আছে? But overfitting is an issue that we have in machine learning. So this is something we will discuss in good depth. Don't worry about that, ঠিক আছে? But yes, if you say যে এটা কারণে কি overfitting হয় নাকি, এটা unbalanced data set can be one example of having an overfitting problem. But what is overfitting problem for others who do not know? Don't worry about it. We'll discuss that. Is that okay? Right?
All right, sir.
Any questions, or so far so good? So far so good, right, Nakina? Okay. So ZeroR classifier, the algorithm is very simple. The algorithm, if you see over here, it's going to construct a frequency table of the target and select the most frequent value. That's what it's going to do. It's going to see which one has the highest, which one appears more frequently. So it's going to just predict that one. So that's what it's going to do. So that's the job of a ZeroR classifier. Here's an example. Okay. So we have a data set over here. Okay. Where, say, John actually goes out and play golf. Okay. So his friend Harry has counted or let's say observed, okay, 14 days or 14 instances, okay, 14 days, like whether John goes out and play golf or not, okay? And he looked at several things, let's say the outlook, the temperature, humidity, and the wind, and he also marks whether John has played golf outside that day or not. Okay, so this is how he has got, you know, how many data, what is the size of this data set?
So
What's
14.
the
14, sir.
so the number of instances we have is 14, right? Clear? Okay. How many features do we have in this data set?
4. 4.
4 features, right? Okay, so there are 4 features, okay? And the features are outlook, temperature, humidity, and windy. And this is the target class. Okay, now what happens if I use a ZeroR classifier here? Now you see over here, so the target is yes and no. So if you count it, you'll see that there are 9 yeses and 5 no's. That's altogether 14. Correct, Nahina?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if we apply the ZeroR classifier, what would ZeroR classifier predict for each of them?
Yes.
Yes, that's what it's going to do. But if you see, if it predicts yes for all the 14 ones, so how much would be the accuracy? So 9 of them are yes, so 9 of them
9
would
by
be correct.
14 multiplied.
And
64.
the 9 by 14 times 100, so that's about 64% accuracy. Right, Nakina? Clear? Understandable, Nakina?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Okay? Acha. Now, how do we evaluate a model? So, you know, we have just looked into what a ZeroR classifier is going to do. This is how we are going to discuss how different classifiers are going to actually make predictions. Okay? All right? Now, ZeroR classifier, remember, is a very baseline classifier. It doesn't look into the predictors at all, right? Okay? Someone, to noise us, can you kindly mute? Yeah, thank you. Right. So now let's say ZeroR classifier it's a very simple classifier. It's a very baseline classifier. It doesn't look into much things at all. But there are other classifiers you learn where it's going to look into the data set. It's going to do some calculations and stuff like that. Okay. Now, whatever classifiers you come up with, you need to evaluate how well the classifier is able to predict. Is that right, Nakina? How can you evaluate how well the classifier is being able to predict? So what a classifier does is when you apply the classifier, it creates a model, right? So you need to do the model evaluation. So how can you do the model evaluation? Or what are the different metrics that we can use to do model evaluation? It turns out accuracy is one of the metrics that we can use to do model evaluation. But apart from accuracy, there are other metrics as well that are also very, very important. Sometimes you will see the accuracy খুব ভালো করছে কিন্তু অন্যান্য মেট্রিকে খারাপ করছে, so you need to deeply analyze them. Okay, and one of the very interesting thing that you can do is you can draw something called a confusion matrix. Okay, and confusion matrix will help you to actually analyze how well your model is doing better. Is it clear? Okay. So আমরা এখানে বহুত কিছু আছে, এগুলো নিয়ে এখন আমি কথা বলবো না because we will discuss them in more details. ঠিক আছে? Accuracy, positive predictive value, negative predictive value, sensitivity বা recall, specificity অথবা precision বলি আমরা এটাকে। ঠিক আছে? We're going to look at what do they mean. But let me show you how does a confusion matrix look like. Confusion matrix যদি তোমার দুই ধরনের থাকে, target থাকে yes or no বা positive or negative, then it's going to be 2 by 2. তিন ধরনের থাকতে 3 by 3 এরকম matrix তৈরি করে। ঠিক আছে? Okay, I'll give an example. Here's the confusion matrix for a ZeroR classifier. Okay, hello, can you see that? Okay, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here's the confusion matrix for the ZeroR classifier. Now let me show you why do we have this as a confusion matrix. এটা একটু বুঝি ZeroR classifier কিভাবে এই confusion matrix create করবে। ঠিক আছে? So in order to understand that, let's do one thing. আমি একটা কাজ করি। So here we have. So let me take a snapshot of this screen. Okay, and let's go to Paint. Let me show you confusion matrix. Okay, is that okay? This is what we have. I don't care about other things. I just need the data set. So I'm going to crop this part. Okay, crop it. So that's what we have. So I'm going to use this data set to show you how to generate a confusion matrix. So remember, this is the confusion matrix, okay, for the ZeroR classifier. So let me do that, okay? Okay, so let's start. Shall we start? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So imagine I'm going to use, ZeroR classifier to actually predict. Okay. Okay. Let's do this prediction. Okay. So if we have a ZeroR classifier, okay. All right. Let's just draw them. Yes and no. Tell me, who is the winner out of yes and no?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
is the winner, right? Okay, that's good. So yes is the winner. Okay, so let me just show you what's going to happen. So let's imagine this is the prediction of the ZeroR classifier. This is the true value of y, and this is the value of y predicted by ZeroR classifier. So because you say yes is the winner, so for each of them, it's going to predict a yes. Am I correct, Akina?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Okay. So it's going to predict a yes for each of these inputs instances. Good. Now let's discuss what's going to happen here. So I'm going to draw a simple confusion matrix. So let's draw it like this one. Okay. Now I will write what the ZeroR classifier is going to predict on this side, and I'm going to write what's the true value on this side. Let's imagine. Okay. So if you see over here, this is what the ZeroR classifier is going to predict, and this is the true value. Okay. Now, how many kinds of আমাদের target value কি হতে পারে?
True or false?
Yes or no? Yes or no? So the target value could be yes or no. Correct? So এখানে target value is yes or no. আচ্ছা, এখন একটু ভালো করে বলেন আমাকে. Okay, so I'll just do a little here. Look at this one now. Okay, just put it this way. Okay. যে এই সেলটা মানে কি? What does this cell mean?
So predicted value yes, true value
Predicted
yes.
value yes, true value yes, right? আচ্ছা, দেখেন তো এখানে কয়টা আছে? Predicted value yes, true value yes.
9টা আছে স্যার।
দাঁড়ান আমি চেক করি স্যার একটু আগে. 1, you're right, but তারপর একটু কাউন্ট করি. 2, 3.
স্যার আমাদের তো 9টাই
Four.
ইয়েস ছিল।
Wait করেন স্যার, wait, don't jump because we have to calculate other cells as well. ঠিক আছে? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have got 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is as expected from 9. Correct, Nakinan? Okay. What about this one? Eta maniki? ZeroR is predicting it to be yes, but actually it is no. So let's say no kothay. No in the ZeroR is predicting is yes. That's 1. No, yes, that's 1. Then no, yes, that's 1. 3. No, yes, that's 4th. And no, yes, that's 5th. So that's 5 of them. Correct, Nakina? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So we have covered all the 14s. Tamane, this is 0 and this is 0. ঠিক আছে? এটা মানে কি? এটা মানে হচ্ছে the ZeroR is predicting as no, but actually yes. ZeroR never predicts this as no. So this is 0 instances. And this is also 0 because ZeroR never predicts this as no. Correct, Nakina? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So what you have over here is a confusion matrix of ZeroR classifier. So this is the confusion matrix of a ZeroR classifier. Clear? Yeah. So if you see over here, that's what exactly we drew. মানে এটাকে আরো মানে একটু কমপ্লিকেটেড ভাবে ড্র করছে, but this is the basic thing. ঠিক আছে? Yes, no, yes, no. This is 9, 5. This is 0, 0. That's important. ঠিক আছে? Is that clear, Nakina? So far so good.
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা, এখন couple of terms over here. Look at this cell. এই সেলটা মানে কি? এই সেলটা মানে হচ্ছে zero are predicting it is yes and actually it is also yes. Correct নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
Right. This is what we call true positive. True positive মানে কি? মানে it's positive মানে yes. Okay. Okay. True positive. That means it's actually positive and it's also been predicted positive. So it's true positive. Clear নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
What about this one? What would be this cell called?
False
This
negative.
This is actually negative. No. And it's being predicted negative
True
as
negative.
well.
True
So
negative.
this is true negative. Clear নাকি না? Okay. This is actually negative and it's been also found as negative or predicted as negative, true negative. Clear? What about
স্যার
this
এটা
one? কি হয়েছে বলেন?
একটা কনফিউশন মানে স্যার ট্রুটা কি স্যার জিরোর জন্য
No, no,
আর
no, no.
নেগেটিভটা কি গ্রাউন্ড ট্রুথের জন্য?
No. এখানে নাম্বারটাকে বাদ দেন। Forget the numbers. ঠিক আছে? Okay? আচ্ছা এই যে নাম্বারগুলো বাদ দেন। আপনি এমনি দেখেন। Don't worry about the numbers. Okay? Okay. এটা হচ্ছে actual. ঠিক আছে? Let me actually draw it here. একটু করে দিই, draw করে। দেখেন একটু ভালো করে দেখতে হবে, ঠিক আছে? It has nothing to do with these numbers, so don't worry about these numbers. ঠিক আছে? Right now. ঠিক আছে? Okay. Now let's say this is positive, this is negative. ঠিক আছে? Is that okay নাকি না? Okay? This is predicting as something as positive, this is predicting something as negative. Is that okay নাকি না?
ইয়েস স্যার।
আচ্ছা, এটা হচ্ছে কার প্রেডিকশন, এটা হচ্ছে মডেলের প্রেডিকশন। ঠিক আছে? আর এটা কার প্রেডিকশন, এটা হচ্ছে অ্যাকচুয়াল। অ্যাকচুয়াল। ওকে। নাও একটু ভালো করে দেখেন। Forget that. Okay. All right. So, what does this cell mean? A cell means actually this is positive and it is being, the model has also predicted it to be positive. Tamane it is called true positive. ঠিক আছে? Is it clear নাকি না?
ইয়েস স্যার এবার ক্লিয়ার।
Right? আচ্ছা। Actually it is negative and the model also predicted it to be negative. So the negative that it predicted is a true negative. Actually it is negative. ঠিক আছে? Okay? Okay? Acha.
Yes, sir.
Look at this one. Actually, it is negative, but the model predicted it as what? Positive in this case. So the model predicted it to be positive, but actually it is key.
নেগেটিভ।
So that this positive is not the true positive, but because actually it is negative, but the model predicted it to be positive, so that's called a false positive. Correct?
এটাকে আবার
False
নেগেটিভ
negative
বলে
হবে না?
বলতে পারি।
No. Who is predicting, sir?
Model.
Model is predicting. Model predict করছে কি?
Positive.
Positive, but actually it is negative. Actually negative, but the model has predicted it to be positive. তার মানে the prediction by the model is false positive. মানে false positive মানে কি? False positive মানে হচ্ছে model has predicted it to be positive, but actually it is not positive. That's why it is false positive. Am I correct নাকি না?
Yes, sir, ঠিক আছে এবার।
Okay? Don't get confused. Okay, look at here. Model is predicting it to be negative, but actually in reality it is positive. So that means in reality it is not negative. That's why this is false negative.
ফলস নেগেটিভ।
Am I correct, Nakina?
ইয়েস স্যার।
Yes, sir. স্যার তাহলে তো আমরা স্যার ডান সাইডেরটা তো এই মডেলটা দেখে বসাই দিতে পারি।
Sir, কি হলো?
স্যার পজিটিভ নেগেটিভ তো আমরা মডেলে যেটা আছে ওটাই বসাই দিতে পারি। ট্রু আর ফলস হচ্ছে আমরা কম্পেয়ার করে দেখতে হবে।
Sir, মানে এটা যদি clear হয়, this is piece of cake. Clear Nakina? Yeah? So how many true positives are here in this case for the ZeroR classifier? 9.
9
Right? How many true negatives are there?
0
0. How many false positives are there? 5. How many false negatives are there?
0.
0. Clear নাকি না? Yes? ঠিক আছে? So far so good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? So now tell me this one here. What should be the formula for the accuracy? Okay. We'll come to that. একটু করে দেখেন. What is the total number of instances? How do you find the number of instances?
14.
তাতা স্যার বুঝলাম 14 এর বাইর করছেন কিভাবে? এই কনফিউশন ম্যাট্রিক্স থেকে কিভাবে বের করছেন? 9 plus 5 plus 0 plus 0. Clear নাকি না? So that means when you add all those things, you get the number of instances. That means true positive plus the number of instances that are false positive plus false negative যতগুলো আছে plus true negative যতগুলো আছে. So if you add them up, that's the total number of instances. Correct নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা, এইগুলোর মধ্যে কোনগুলা correctly classified হয়েছে বলেন? Which
True
ones
positive.
are
True
কোনগুলা
positive.
correctly classified হয়েছে? Correctly classified হয়েছে এই
True positive, true negative.
true positive and true negative, right? নাকি না? Clear?
Yes.
তাহলে আমার অ্যাকিউরেসি কত হবে? এই দুটো কারেক্টলি ক্লাসিফাইড হচ্ছে, তার মানে ট্রু পজিটিভ প্লাস ট্রু নেগেটিভ ডিভাইড বাই দ্য টোটাল নাম্বার অফ ইনস্ট্যান্সেস দ্যাট উই হ্যাভ, হুইচ ইজ ট্রু পজিটিভ প্লাস ফলস পজিটিভ প্লাস ট্রু নেগেটিভ প্লাস ফলস নেগেটিভ। ক্লিয়ার নাকি না?
স্যার আবার একটু বলবেন?
না স্যার, লাভ দিয়ে নাম নিজে নিজে চিন্তা করেন, একটু মানে don't jump. So total number of correctly classified instances কয়টা এখানে? True positive যেগুলো এগুলো correctly classified, right নাকি না? Yes?
Yes, sir.
True positive correctly classified কেন? কারণ এগুলো correctly classified as positive, ঠিক আছে? আর true negative এগুলো correctly classified কেন? কারণ হচ্ছে these are correctly classified as negative. Correct নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
So what is the total number of correctly classified instances? True positive plus true negative, right? Okay. Out of how many such instances? All together. ঠিক আছে? So what's the accuracy? True positive plus true negative divided by all of them. ঠিক আছে? Is that clear নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Clear.
So in this example, so what should be the accuracy for ZeroR classifier here? So the accuracy of the ZeroR classifier would be 9 plus 0, which is 9 divided by 9 divided by altogether 14. Clear? Is that okay? And that is your 64% accurate or something like that. Clear nakina? Is that idea okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's what it's showing over here. These are your true positive values, these are your true negative values. Clear? And these are your what? False positive values, and these are your false negative values. Correct nakina? Clear? Okay. And you see over here the accuracy is 0.64 because this is true positive plus true negative divided by the entire number of instances that we have. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hope this is clear, right, Tekina? Okay. Acha, we'll talk more about these things. So what happens over here? Okay. So does anyone have any questions so far?
No, sir.
Sir, what is sensitivity?
পরে don't worry, এগুলো আমরা আবার আসবো। সেন্সিটিভিটি কি, স্পেসিফিসিটি কি, এগুলো আমরা আবার আসবো, don't worry. ঠিক আছে? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So far so good নাকি না? Accuracy টা clear নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. আমরা অনেক কিছু আছে, precision, recall, ঠিক আছে? We have a lot of things. We'll come to them one by one. ঠিক আছে? But আপাতত accuracy কে ইউজ করি, ঠিক আছে? But we'll come to those discussions. ঠিক আছে? Okay. Right. So ZeroR classifier done নাকি না? Does anyone have any questions? I hope nobody has questions, right? নাকি না? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me show you something called OneR classifier. Okay. Now ZeroR classifier done. OneR classifier. OneR classifier is also not a very sophisticated classifier, but it's slightly better than ZeroR classifier. Okay. So what does OneR classifier stand for? It stands for one rule classifier. That means I'm going to use one rule to understand. Okay, it's a simple yet accurate classification algorithm that generates one rule for each predictor in the data. Then selects a rule with the smallest total error as its one rule. The money key, I will explain you. I guess you can have a look at this algorithm and see what happens, but let me actually give an example. I think once you see an example, you'll be very clear what's happening. Shall we look into that? Correct example here? Okay. Here's an example. Now imagine we have the same data set, but this time I'm not using a ZeroR classifier. What am I using? I'm using a OneR classifier to predict it. Is that okay, Nakina?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Let's say, what does the OneR predictor do? So the first thing OneR classifier do is it finds out the best predictor. এখানে কতগুলো predictor আছে, কতগুলো features আছে?
চারটা ফিচার আছে স্যার।
চারটা features আছে: outlook, temperature, humidity, and windy. Now what the OneR classifier is going to do is going to find out which of these four predictors that we have, which is the best predictor that can be used, which is the best predictor out of this. That means কোনটা হচ্ছে the best feature that can be used to, predict about the target variable. Clear? Is it the outlook? Is it the temperature? Is it the humidity? Or is it the windy? How does it do that? Okay, so let me show you what it does. Shall we? Now, I want you, all of you, to look at this carefully. So how many attributes or how many predictors do we have? 4 predictors, right? Okay. Outlook,
Yes.
temperature, humidity, and windy. So for each of these predictors, it's going to create a frequency table. So it's going to create a frequency table for outlook. It's going to create a frequency table for temperature, a humidity, as well as for windy. ঠিক আছে? Is it okay নাকি? আচ্ছা, এখন আমাকে বলেন যে প্রেডিকশন যেটা করবে, প্রেডিকশনের ভ্যালু কি হতে পারে? হোয়াটস দ্য প্রেডিকশন ভ্যালু?
Yes, no.
ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি গুলোর এভারেজ ভ্যালু।
আরে কোথা থেকে নিজেরা বানায় ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি এভারেজ ভ্যালু বের করছে? প্রেডিকশনস কি হতে পারে? হোয়াট আর দ্য ভ্যালুস ইন দ্য প্রেডিকশন?
Yes or no?
ইয়েস অর নো, দ্যাটস ইট। ওকে, সো আমি এখন আউটলুকের জন্য দেখাচ্ছি কিভাবে ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি টেবিলটা তৈরি করে। সো দ্য প্রেডিকশনস আর আইদার ইয়েস অর নো, কারেক্ট নাকি না? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'm now looking at the outlook, the feature outlook. So অন্যান্য ফিচার গুলোতে কি হচ্ছে, I don't even care. I just look at this outlook feature. এখন outlook ফিচারে কয় ধরনের আছে, কয় ধরনের ডেটা আছে এখানে? How many kinds of inputs are there? There are 3. It's either rainy or overcast or sunny. এছাড়া তো আর কিছু নাই, আছে? Yes?
No, sir.
So I'm going to write the outlook can be sunny, overcast, or rainy. Correct নাকি না? Clear?
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা, এখন প্রত্যেকটা দেখেন। সানি, আউটলুক হচ্ছে সানি এবং গলফ খেলছে ইয়েস প্রেডিকশন কতবার? দেখি সানি ইয়েস পেয়েছি, এটা হচ্ছে সানি ইয়েস। আবার এটা হচ্ছে সানি ইয়েস, রাইট নাকি? সো দ্যাটস অলসো সানি ইয়েস। এটা সানি নো, সো দ্যাটস নট দ্যাট। আর সানি কোথায় আছে? এখানে আছে সানি ইয়েস, দ্যাটস সানি ইয়েস। আবার সানি এখানে আছে সানি নো, দ্যাটস সানি নো। তাহলে সানি কয়টা আছে? সানি আবার বলতে 3টা। সানি 1 2 3 4 5 5 1 2 3 4 and 5 out of 5 সানি কতবার ইয়েস হয়েছে আর কতবার নো হয়েছে?
3বার ইয়েস হয়েছে,
3বার ইয়েস, তাহলে 2বার নো। So sunny, for the sunny I had yes 3 times and no 2 times. Correct নাকি না?
Yes.
Is that clear? So similarly, can I find for overcast? Okay, I can try for
Yes.
overcast as well. Okay, so আমি এগুলো প্রত্যেকটা জন্য করব। Okay, so let me show you for overcast. Okay, so if we look at for overcast, okay, so overcast কতগুলো ইনস্ট্যান্সেস আগে দেখি। 1টা 2টা তিনটা চারটা। আচ্ছা ওভারকাস্ট ইয়েস কটা আছে? এটা হচ্ছে ইয়েস, সো দিস ইজ 1, এটাও ইয়েস 2, এটাও ইয়েস 3, এটাও ইয়েস 4। তার মানে চারটা ইনস্ট্যান্সেস এবং চারটার জন্য ইয়েস, কারেক্ট নাকি না? সো ওভারকাস্টে চারটা ইয়েস আর 0 নোস, কারেক্ট নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What
Yes,
about
sir.
for rainy? Rainy জন্য কি হবে? Let's look at for rainy. For rainy, I have got, let's say, rainy কটা আছে? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. পাঁচটা rainy আছে। Rainy yes কটা আছে দেখি? Rainy no, rainy no. এটাও হচ্ছে rainy no. This is rainy yes একটা, এটা rainy yes একটা। কারণ rainy yes হচ্ছে দুইটা such instances. So 2 rainy yes and 3 rainy no. Altogether 5 rainies. Clear? Is that okay নাকি না?
Okay, sir.
Good. So এটা ক্লিয়ার? আমরা কিভাবে এই ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি টেবিলটা বের করলাম? Yes? Okay? আচ্ছা। Can we actually develop a frequency table for other predictors as well? Let's say for temperature. So temperature কতগুলো temperature আছে এখানে? How many classes do we have over here? How many categories do we have over here?
3, sir.
3 categories.
Three. What are those? Hot, mild,
Cold.
cool. Okay, so that's why we wrote hot, mild, cool. Then again, same way তে hot কতগুলো আছে দেখি তো একটু? 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think 4 hot, right? চারটার মধ্যে কতগুলো yes আছে দেখি? এটা হচ্ছে no, এটা হচ্ছে no, এটা হচ্ছে yes, so that's 1 yes. আর এটা হচ্ছে yes, so 2 yes and 2 no's. So that's why 2 yes and 2 no's. Clear নাকি না? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, mild and cool এর জন্য করতে পারবো? এটা
Yes,
ঠিক
sir.
আছে? আচ্ছা, ক্লিয়ার সবার নাকি না?
Yes, sir.
ওকে। সো সিমিলারলি আমি এখন কি হিউমিডিটির জন্য করতে পারবো? ফর দ্য হিউমিডিটি প্রেডিক্টর। হিউমিডিটি কয় ধরনের আছে? হাই আছে, নরমাল আছে। দ্যাটস ইট, হাই এন্ড নরমাল, রাইট? উই হ্যাভ গট হাই এন্ড নরমাল and then we can count হাই এর জন্য কতগুলো হাই আছে? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So there are altogether 7 highs. সাতটা হাইয়ের মধ্যে ইয়েস কটা আছে দেখি? এটা হাই নো, এটা হাই নো, এটা হচ্ছে হাই ইয়েস, so that's 1. এটা হাই ইয়েস, that's 2. এটা হাই নো, this is high yes, this is 3, and this is high no. So high yes হচ্ছে তিনটা, okay? So high yes হচ্ছে তিনটা আর high no হচ্ছে চারটা, because there are altogether 4 highs. Clear নাকি না? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, for the normal, I find 6 yeses and 1 no's. Is that okay?
Sir.
Okay, so I can do for the windy, I can do for this predictor called windy. Okay, windy হচ্ছে true or false. So there are trues and false. So you need to say false এর জন্য দেখি ট্রাই করি কতগুলো false আছে? 1 false, 2 false, 3 false, 4 false, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8টা false. 8টা false এর মধ্যে কতগুলো true আছে দেখি? False যেটা predict করে true কে। This is false no. আচ্ছা false yes, this is 1. False yes, this is 2. False yes, this is 3. Okay, false yes, this is 4. False yes, this is 5. False yes, this is 6. আটটার মধ্যে ছয়টাই হচ্ছে false yes. So false যখন yes হচ্ছে 6টা আর no হচ্ছে 2টা, correct নাকি না? Clear?
Yes, sir.
আর true যখন তাহলে yes হচ্ছে 3টা আর no হচ্ছে 3টা. You can see that same way. Is that okay? Did you understand how did we create the frequency table
Yes, sir.
for
Yes,
each of the predictors? Is that okay to everybody? ঠিক আছে? Is that okay?
Yes.
Acha, good. So once we have understood that, now I want to find out, acha, I created the frequency table for each predictor. I want to figure out which one is the best predictor. How are we going to do that? So we're going to do it by the technique of voting. ঠিক আছে? What is that idea? Okay, দেখেন। Sunny, এই আউটলুকে আবার আসেন। Sunny yes কটা আর no কটা বলেন? Sunny
তিনটা yes.
তিনটা ইয়েস আর দুটো হচ্ছে নো। আচ্ছা, আপনাকে যদি প্রেডিক্ট করতে হয় তাহলে ইয়েসটা প্রেডিক্ট করবেন না নো প্রেডিক্ট করবেন? যে কোনো একটা যদি প্রেডিক্ট করতে হয়, ঠিক আছে?
Yes.
Which one would you predict? You predict yes, not no. কেন? You predict yes because নোর সংখ্যা কম। তাহলে নোর সংখ্যা যেহেতু কম, ওগুলাকে যদি আমি ইয়েসও প্রেডিক্ট করি তাহলে আমার কম সংখ্যক ভুল প্রেডিকশন হচ্ছে। এম আই কারেক্ট নাকি না? ক্লিয়ার? ইয়েস?
Yes, sir.
So that's why I'm going to check yes and no, who is the winner. The winner is yes. So I'm going to, for outlook, I'm going to say whenever I get sunny, I'm going to predict it to be yes. Okay? Whenever I get the outlook to be overcast, which one am I going to predict? Yes or no? Which one?
Yes.
Yes. Okay? Because this is smaller. Acha, whenever I get rainy, what am I going to predict? Yes or no?
No. No.
I'm going to predict no because that's the winner. ঠিক আছে? Okay? আচ্ছা, আমি যদি এই প্রেডিকশন করি সব সময়, দ্যাট মিন্স আউটলুকে সানি পেলে কি প্রেডিক্ট করছি? ইয়েস। ওভারকাস্ট পেলে কি প্রেডিক্ট করছি?
Yes.
ইয়েস। আর রেইনি হলে কি প্রেডিক্ট করছি?
No.
No.
No. Can you tell me how much errors do we have then if I actually predict it this way? কয়টা এরর হবে
So এই ক্ষেত্রে হবে স্যার 4টা।
এই ক্ষেত্রে? দেখেন, এই যে সানি হলে ইয়েস প্রেডিক্ট করছি, তাদের দুইটা রং প্রেডিকশন হচ্ছে, রাইট নাকি না?
4টা হবে।
ও জানেন না স্যার, একটু ওয়েট করেন, আমি আস্তে আস্তে বুঝি, আস্তে আস্তে। আজকে আউটলুক যদি সানি হয় তাহলে 3টা কারেক্ট হবে, তার 2টা ভুল হচ্ছে, 2 এরার্স। ওকে, আর ওভারকাস্ট যদি হয় তাহলে ওভারকাস্টে ইয়েস প্রেডিক্ট করছেন, তখন নো হচ্ছে 0, সো 0 এরার্স। আর রেইনি হলে আপনি নো প্রেডিক্ট করছেন, তাহলে ইউ হ্যাভ হাউ মেনি এরার্স? 2 errors. So how many errors would you have if for this one?
4.
4টা error থাকে, তাহলে there are 4 errors in this example. Is that okay? আচ্ছা, এখন টেম্পারেচারের জন্য কয়টা এরর হবে আমাকে বলতে পারবেন? হট হলে ইয়েস এন্ড নো, দেখেন দুটো ইকুয়াল, তো যে কোনো একটা প্রেডিক্ট করতে হবে। আমি যদি ইয়েস প্রেডিক্ট করি তাহলে 2টা নো, 2টা ফলস প্রেডিকশন হলো। মাইল্ডে হচ্ছে ইয়েস হচ্ছে উইনার, তাহলে ইয়েস যদি করি তাহলে এটা হচ্ছে ফলস, মানে এটা হচ্ছে রং প্রেডিকশন, এই 2টা রং প্রেডিকশন। কুলে 3 and 1, so আমি 3 যদি ইয়েসটা প্রেডিক্ট করবো, সো দিস ইজ দ্য ফলস প্রেডিকশন। সো অলটুগেদার কতগুলো প্রেডিকশন আছে, ভুল প্রেডিকশন আছে? there are 5 errors. ঠিক আছে নাকি না? ক্লিয়ার?
Yes sir.
আচ্ছা, সিমিলারলি আমাকে বলেন হিউমিডিটির জন্য কতগুলো এরর থাকবে? আচ্ছা, humidity high 3 and 4, so I'm going to high হলে সবসময় no predict করবো, right? Because that's the winner. So I've got 3 errors here. Normal হচ্ছে 6 and 1, so I'm going to always predict it to be yes. So I'll have 1 error here. So altogether 4 errors. Is that okay নাকি না? Yeah? আচ্ছা।
Yes, sir.
আর উইন্ডির জন্য কি করছি? উইন্ডির জন্য ওকে, লেটস সি, ফলস হলে 6 yeses and 2 no's, তাহলে আমি সবসময় উইন্ডি ফলস হলে আমি ইয়েস প্রেডিক্ট করবো, তাহলে there are 2 errors over here. আর ট্রু হলে there are 3 yeses and 3 no's, so যে কোনো একটা র্যান্ডমলি নিলেই হবে because they're equal. So let's say আমি ইয়েস প্রেডিক্ট করছি, তাহলে there are 3 errors. ঠিক আছে? So what is the total number of errors? 5. তাহলে বলেন যে out of these 4 predictors, which predictor incurs the lowest error?
Outlook or humidity?
Outlook and humidity, right? These two are because they would incur an error of 4. ঠিক আছে? So outlook and humidity are the best predictors for this particular data set. Am I correct নাকি না?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's just say আমরা এই দুটোর মধ্যে একটাকে নিতে হবে, যে কোনো একটা নিলেই হবে। Let's just say আমরা আউটলুকটাকে চুজ করলাম randomly. ঠিক আছে? Is it okay নাকি না? So which becomes the winner? Who is the winner? Which is the winner predictor in this example?
Outlook.
Outlook. You could choose the humidity as well, it doesn't matter. ঠিক আছে? Because we have a tie over here between outlook and humidity, we have to select one of them. So let's say we have selected the outlook. ঠিক আছে? So who is the winner predictor in this example?
Outlook.
Outlook. So this is what we are doing, but interestingly, if we are therefore using the outlook, তাহলে দেখেন তো আমরা এক ধরনের রুলস তৈরি করে ফেললাম না? রুলসটা কি? Outlook যদি sunny হয়, we are going to predict what? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. If outlook is sunny, then play golf, yes. If outlook is overcast, then play golf is
Yes.
also yes. If outlook is rainy, then play golf is
No.
no. Makes sense? So we created a set of rules. So made an interesting prediction. ঠিক আছে? So just outlook এর উপর ভিত্তি করে we are making a prediction. Is that okay? নাকি না? Clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
ঠিক আছে? So that's what we do in a OneR classifier. Now OneR is a better classifier for me than a ZeroR classifier, because at least in this OneR classifier, it at least looks into the data set. It looks into the predictors, key codes. It looks at the features, right? ZeroR even doesn't look into that. Correct? Is that okay?
Yes,
sir,
sir.
but accuracy to?
Good question. What's the accuracy?
9.6.
It will be about 71% accurate. It will be 71% accurate. But how much time do I have? I think we have about 3 minutes. So আমরা কি 3 minutes এটা show করতে পারবো? How do you find this interesting thing? But this is a good question. I want you to see this one. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, let me try. Let me take
Sir, we can
print screen.
continue till 4:20.
Okay, let's see. ঠিক আছে, এটা দেখি করতে পারি নাকি. Is that okay? Now what I'm going to do now is let me select. I don't need. Oops. Okay. I don't need this. Okay. So let's get rid of that. Okay, I can't even get rid of that this way. Okay, so now let's imagine. Acha, forget that. I mean, this is making things more difficult. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute, sir.
Really proper.
Sir, একটু সময় দেন আমাকে. Okay. Okay. So this is what we have. Okay. This is what I have. So let me crop that. And okay, so this is cropped. Okay. Gotcha. So you want to see now, actually what would be the accuracy, right? Okay. All right. So আমরা finally এখানে যখন করছিলাম, which became the winner? Which predictor has become the winner?
Immediately. Sir, outlook.
Outlook. ঠিক আছে? আচ্ছা, Outlook. We chose Outlook. Both humidity and Outlook are the best candidate, but we selected the Outlook, right? আচ্ছা. So if you look at the Outlook এ আমরা what is the set of rules that we have created? Now we have said over here, remember, if the Outlook is sunny, যদি sunny হয়, if Outlook is sunny, আচ্ছা আমি just ছোট করে দেখি, এত কাহিনী না করে. Okay, so we're looking at the Outlook, and the prediction we made is, if this is sunny, if the Outlook is sunny, then what did we do? Play golf, yes or no? Yes, right? Okay. And if the Outlook is overcast, then what did we do?
So played, yes.
Yes or no? Yes, right? Clear? Okay.
Yes.
যদি rainy হয়, the Outlook is rainy.
No.
That was a no. Correct? Acha, just to let me see. আমরা কোনো ঝামেলা না করি. Yes, correct. So this is the right. Okay. So if that's basically what you're doing, then look at this carefully. What would be the prediction made by the OneR classifier? So I'm going to actually create a simple thing like that. Okay. Okay. These are the instances we have, right? Not the best straight line in the world, but that's okay. Okay, so how am I going to make this prediction? Look, I'm going to look at the Outlook only. The first instance, Outlook is what? So this is the OneR classifiers prediction, right? In the first instance, what's the outlook?
Rain.
Rainy, right? Rainy. What's the prediction?
No.
No. Done. Next one, rainy. So it's no. Overcast. Overcast. Yes. Sunny. Yes. Sunny. Yes. Sunny. Yes. Right? Overcast. Yes. Right? Taporta ki? Rainy. No. Rainy. No. Sunny. Yes. Right? Taporta hochhe abar rainy. So this is no. Taporta hochhe overcast. Yes. Overcast. Yes. And sunny, yes. So this is the prediction made by the OneR classifier. Correct, Nakina?
Yes, sir.
So it's just going to look at the outlook. যদি sunny বা overcast হয়, it's going to predict it is yes. And যদি rainy হয়, it's going to predict it as no. Correct? Yep. Okay. So is that okay to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if that's all right, so now think about confusion matrix. In order to do further calculation, look at the confusion matrix. Okay. So if you look at the confusion matrix, so we have the model over here. So I'm going to write the model over here. The model we have is OneR. Okay. So OneR model can predict it as either yes or no. So it's either yes or no. This is the true value, right? True value. So this could be yes or no. Correct, Nakina? Clear? Yes? আচ্ছা এখন দেখেন এটা হচ্ছে yes and yes. That means OneR ও yes বলছে আর true value yes. ঠিক আছে? এখানে yes এই যে এখানে একটা, right? Nakina? Yes and yes. Yes এটা একটা, দুইটা। Yes 3 number. এটা yes but এটা no. এটা হবে না। Yes and yes. So this is number 4. 1 2 3 4. This is yes and yes. This is number 5. Yes and yes. This is number 6. Yes and yes. That's number 7. So there are 7 yes and yes. Correct, Nakina? ঠিক আছে?
Yes.
Okay. Let's choose a different color. Now look at over here. Actually no, but OneR বলছে yes. Okay. Actually no, but OneR yes. এটা no. মানে actually no, OneR yes. That's how many such instances we have. This is no. So that's not the one. No, that's not the one. No yes. এই যে একটা, right? Then no, yes no yes এখানে একটা, দুইটা, তাই না? There are two such instances. So there are two such instances. Correct? Okay. 3 নাম্বারটা চেক করি এটা হচ্ছে no yes. তার মানে actually no, sorry, prediction no আর true actually yes. তার মানে yes no. Actually yes but prediction no. দেখি actually yes prediction no. এটা yes actually yes prediction no. Actually এটা yes এই যে এখানে একটা actually yes but prediction is no. Correct? একটা দাঁড়ান আর তো নাই, আছে আর নাই, একটাই আছে yes no.
আর একটা আছে তো
কোথায়? কত নাম্বার
10 নাম্বারটা
10 নম্বর মানে হচ্ছে okay this is yes no, right? আচ্ছা right, 2 নম্বর, right? Okay. আর আছে? সরি স্যার, এখানে দুটো কেন? চারটা হওয়ার কথা কেন? হওয়ার কথা মানে কি? আপনার তো এখানে দেখতে হবে, ঠিক আছে? OneR is predicting it as no, ঠিক আছে? আর actually it's yes. আপনি তো জোর করে বললে হবে না চারটা হওয়ার কথা. You'll have to figure it out, okay? আচ্ছা এখানে দেখি actually no and OneR is predicting no. Actually no, OneR predicting is no. একটা, দুইটা, this is no. আর কোথায়? এই যে এটা একটা, তিনটা no, right? আর that's it, 3, right? Nakina? Clear? Okay. Now, it's hard to find. We can miss out one. So one way to check that we did not miss anything, add all these instances. What instances here? 7 plus 2 is how much? 9 plus 2 is how much? Hello?
11.
11 plus 3 is how much?
14
14. And how many instances do we have over here?
14.
14. So we did not hopefully miss out anything. So if we now look at this one, you see over here 7223, and this is exactly what we got, 7223. Clear, Nakina? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So once we have found the confusion matrix, so you know it very well that you know this is your true positive, this is your true negative, right? Eta ki?
ওটা false negative.
False positive. OneR is classifying it as to be yes positive, so false positive, and this is your false negative. Correct, Nakina? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is your accuracy in this example? So how do you find the accuracy here? So the accuracy in this what's wrong? Accuracy in this example would be true positive plus true negative, okay, divided by the total number of instances. Correct, Nakina? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
okay, Nakina? Yeah. So how much is the true positive? 7. And how much is the true negative? 3. So that's altogether 10 out of 14. So if you do 10 by 14, how much is that? Anyone? Calculator? 0.71 something, which is about 71%. So the accuracy is 71%. Okay. So if you now look at over here, the accuracy is 0.71 or about 71%. Slightly better than ZeroR classifier. ZeroR classifier, we got it to be some 64%, but now we get it to be 71% accurate. Is that okay so far, Nakina? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think we should stop over here. In the next class, I'm going to show you how to actually implement these classifiers, okay, and how to actually use this classifier in with the data set that you have. That's what we're going to see in the next class. Okay, all right. So I'm going to stop it over here, but I want to put one more emphasis over here before we end it. Okay, we measured accuracy to see how well your model is doing, but bear in mind এখন আমি শুধু accuracy দেখাচ্ছি, but in later I mean you'll see that accuracy is not the only metric to measure how well a particular model is doing. There are other metrics as well, like precision, recall, F1 score, and stuff like that. But due time we will discuss what those metrics are. Is that okay? So far we're just simply using the accuracy to measure how well a particular model is doing. Okay. So with that being said, I'll stop the recording.